Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining today's presentation on how to pursue an MBA in the United States. My name is Juan Manuel Delgado, and I represent Education USA. I'm an Education USA advisor in Peru, in the southern city of Cusco. So thank you for joining me this morning. So let me tell you a little bit about Education USA. We are a network of over 400 international student advising centers around the world. We have presence in over 170 countries and territories. And what we do is we promote US higher education to international students by offering accurate, comprehensive, and current information on educational opportunities at post-secondary institutions in the United States. We also work with the US higher education community in terms of their recruitment efforts and internationalization efforts as well. This presentation is both for Peru and Ecuador, and I can definitely put you in touch with my colleagues from Ecuador as well, with the Education USA centers in Ecuador. But in the meantime, these are the centers in Peru. We have centers all the way from Tacna to the north of Peru, in Piura, and we basically cover the 25 regions. So let's talk about what an MBA is. First of all, MBA stands for Master of Business Administration, and there are many types of MBAs in the United States. There's a traditional full-time MBA, there's the part-time MBA, there's an executive type of MBA, there are online MBA programs. There are MBAs that are, the traditionals are usually completed in 2 years. However, there are more intensive based type of MBAs as well that you can complete in 3 semesters and even in 2 semesters. However, not every program of MBA will be suitable for international applicants. You have to always check with the business schools that you'll be applying to regarding the type of MBAs that are appropriate and suitable for international applicants. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the traditional full-time MBA. This type of MBA, the focus is to develop your functional business skills. And in order to apply, you usually require some sort of professional experience between 3 to 5 years. And actually 5 years is the average time. And since an MBA class is a space for professionals to come together, work in teams, and discuss all about their professional experiences, you also need to have leadership skills and collaborative skills as well. In terms of the program structure, as I said, it usually lasts 2 years, that is 4 semesters. And in the first year of your MBA, you will be taking required business courses. These are known as the business foundations. And after you finish your first year, that summer, that break in between the first and second year will be a very important time in your MBA experience because most likely you will be placed, or you will have the chance to do an internship or to find a job that will provide you with everything you need to put into practice what you have learned in business school. And oftentimes as well, this internship, if you have a great experience and you've been a great asset for the company that you work for, most likely you will have an opportunity to reapply in the near future, but in a more permanent position. So year number 2 of the MBA is you define your concentration. There's a wide number of concentrations, and you also take elective courses to complete your second year and to get your MBA. Okay, let me talk to you about how to select the right MBA program for you. So first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions. You need to understand what is the focus on your career goals. How do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? In what industry, in what company? What are those professional and academic and career goals that you have So now you should be, those dream jobs that you have, those positions that you would like to get in the near future, you should be able, or you should research the requirements for those positions. So get in touch with those people, whether they're your, friends, colleagues, bosses, coordinators, and try to understand what their profile looks like, and if an MBA is a good fit for you. You also at this time need to determine your eligibility and understand that applying to an MBA might be a long process depending on your profile, your English skills, your professional experiences. It might take you a year, a couple of years to prepare for it and get your profile ready. So you need to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. In Education USA, we have the 5 steps to applying to graduate programs, in this case, business schools. And we can definitely guide you in the process of applying to an MBA program in that regard. Pursuing an MBA will also mean that you will have to, take time away from work and your family. You will have to take 2 years of your time to go to the US. So also you need to weigh in the pros and cons of that decision at this moment. So why an MBA is a good fit for you right now? Why now? And also, of course, you need to understand the big financial responsibilities that pursuing an MBA entail, such as the cost of tuition, where you're going to live, housing, your meals, even the travel to the US, and other costs that I will talk about more in a second. Okay, other factors to consider are the academic area and concentration. Like I said, there's a wide area of programs offered, concentrations within an MBA. So you need to understand what your focus will be in this regard. Another important factor for students is faculty expertise. You definitely want to go to a community where there's faculty that inspire you, that motivate you to push harder, and you might even care about the level of faculty citations in terms of scientific journals or business journals. So if that is something that you care about, make sure you research the school that is the right fit for you. And something that I think is very, very important is the access to career and companies that interest you. So make sure you research for those schools that the company of your dreams will be recruiting students from. So try to understand that. Try to understand the job opportunities after the MBA experience. How likely it is for an international student at those particular business schools to be recruited or to be hired for their companies of their dreams. Another critical factor is when you're doing your research process, ask the MBA programs if they could put you in touch with current alumni and alums in your desired field, whether it is environment, energy, real estate, finance and economics, entrepreneurship. So make sure you talk to people who have done that same MBA that you are looking for, and hear from them firsthand as well. And the US is such a big country that there are so many options. So geographical location might also be a factor to consider. In terms of application requirements, I was telling you that in Education USA, we help you navigate the application process through the 5 steps. And through these steps, we help you understand all of these requirements as well. We start from searching schools, understanding the financial packages and scholarships that you can apply for. And we move on to the requirements that you need to meet in order to apply to these programs. So for example, business schools websites are the best resource. They are your best resource because all the information that you need in terms of that particular program is on their website. So those program descriptions are really important. Make sure you read them thoroughly and you understand what those programs are requiring and asking you to do. So applications may vary from business school to business schools slightly. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about those application requirements that tend to be standard across business schools. So first of all, you'll have to face a couple of standardized exams. The first one is an aptitude test. It is the GMAT or the GRE. These two exams are widely accepted by most business schools. However, I do recommend that you check which exam is, the most preferred, or some schools might accept either or. Second, you'll have to take an English proficiency test. And out there in the market, there are many English tests that you can take to demonstrate what your English skills are for business school. So for example, some names that are there out in the market are the TOEFL IBT, the IELTS, the Duolingo English test, and there are some other English tests as well that you should get familiar with. And like I said, go to the business schools websites and understand which exams they accept. So you need to allocate ample time to prepare yourself for taking these exams and succeeding in those. They will also require your local college transcripts. The college you attended either in Ecuador or in Peru. You need to start processing those. You need to have like official digital copies. Every business schools will have their own essays. Sometimes these essays are like long answer essays. Some other times are short type of essays. So the essays serve the purpose for the business school to actually get to know you as an applicant. You'll be required to get professional letters of recommendation, usually two. We'll talk more about those in a bit. If you're qualified enough, and if you meet all of these requirements in the first stage of the application process, most business schools also have an interview in the second stage of their application process. So if you're a great candidate for them, they will most likely invite you to interview with them as well. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. So when in doubt, in general, make sure you contact the business schools with all of your questions with an email. And if you have questions, you can also reach out to us to help you in this process. So let me give you some tips on how to develop a winning application for an MBA program. As I said, first of all, ample time to prepare for standardized tests so that you can surpass those minimum scores that business schools would most likely ask you in both exams, the English proficiency exam and the aptitude test. That those tend to be the GMAT and GRE. And there might be other requirements as well. Understand that an MBA program, you're expected to go to the classroom with solid quantitative skills. So they might have other requirements as special classes, and you have to understand what those are. In regards to the essay, as I was saying, some tips I would give you is be yourself, be authentic, and think of the question, how you will contribute to that particular MBA program, what you will bring to the table, what experiences, what skills, what knowledge. And business schools also like to hear that you know about their school. So do your homework and research all the resources that they have available for you. So talk about that in your application essay as well. And have someone you trust read your essay so you can get feedback as well. So an essay is a very important part of the application process because it gives you the chance to control your application and to showcase yourself and talk about your assets and how you will contribute to that particular business school. There's a great chance for you to make a difference in your application. In terms of the resume, in your resume, we don't recommend you just talk about write the responsibilities that you had at your job. Don't do that. Don't list responsibilities. Instead, talk about achievements, talk about your impact in that particular company or organization that you're working for. So you need to highlight your professional accomplishments. And also remember, you need to let the business schools about your quantitative skills. And this is, you can also do that in your resume. And many business schools will suggest that you have a one-page resume only, okay? So it'll be hard, but you need to condense all of the great things you have done into one page only. And finally, as far as letters of recommendation, again, start early, identify two potential professional contacts that know you very well that can write you letters of recommendation, and set up appointments with them, explain the process to them, and let them know that they need to focus on your potential to succeed in business school. They need to talk about your leadership and collaborative skills as well. And remember that these letters of recommendation must come from people that know you very well. Okay? Okay, so now let's talk about tuition, scholarships, and financial aid. As you know, business school are very, very expensive. They represent a huge investment. So you need to understand what the tuition and fees are for each business school that you apply for. What are the options for students in terms of housing, meal plans, and try to understand how you're gonna go over those logistics as well. And there are many other expenses as well, such as the international health insurance, which is mandatory, and even the cost of living might vary from region to region and state to state and even city to city. So you need to understand all of these financial responsibilities that you will have. However, I like to tell you that there is also scholarship and financial aid opportunities. These are merit-based and need-based, depending on the financial aid policies that the business schools may have. So again, business school websites are your best resource. So make sure you go through the website thoroughly. And if you don't find information about these kind of financial aid opportunities, also reach out to the business school in terms of scholarships for international applicants. And please, we haven't talked about deadlines, but check application requirements and deadlines for requesting financial aid. What happens is that most business schools have different rounds of application, but they don't give financial aid in every round of application. So they usually do that in the first and second, but that depends on a case-by-case scenario. So you need to understand that. So when in doubt, please shoot them an email and get in touch with the business school. And to wrap up the presentation, I have a few more tips to give you. So start this process as early as possible. Allow ample time to go over all of these requirements that I have talked about. Get in touch with Education USA so we can work on your action plan on how to apply to business schools. Second, develop a good application strategy. As I said, it is recommended that you apply to a number of business schools, not just one. And when you are building that list of schools, consider schools that are, dream schools, target schools, and even safety schools. And this will depend on your academic credentials and how your academic credentials fall within that range of schools for you to determine and start building a list of business schools. Do not rely on rankings only, okay? At Education USA, we do not work with rankings because we believe that rankings actually miss very important qualitative factors in applying to business schools and applying to universities in general in the US. So do your research and learn more about each school. So rankings are not everything. Don't rely solely on them. Next, find an MBA program that is the right fit for you. Get in touch with alumni, understand who the professors are, understand, if they give any financial aid to international students. Even the location might be important to you in terms of like, prospective future job opportunities and internships. So don't just go to a business school because you had a friend who went there, or because you heard of this business school in a movie or on TV. Don't do that. And last but not least, don't rule out programs just because of the high cost. We understand that business schools are very expensive. However, as I said, there are many scholarship and financial aid opportunities for international students if you dig deep and if you get in touch with those business schools. And there might be financial aid available. And education is the best investment that you can make on yourself. So thank you for your time. Here's my email if you want to get in touch with me. If you want me to put you in contact with an Education USA center in a particular city in Ecuador or in Peru, let me know. You can also do that on your own. If you visit our website, educationusa.state.gov, you can find the nearest Education USA center to you. And finally, please make sure you follow us on our social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us as Education USA Peru. Thank you. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that I get a message on the screen. This is automatic. I have 1 minute left because this presentation is supposed to last 25 minutes only. So I don't think I'll be able to go over your questions at this point, but make sure you shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay? In the 40 seconds that I have left, I'm going to answer the first question. Carlos asks, if a university doesn't require the GMAT, is it a plus if we already have it? If they don't require the GMAT, it won't be necessarily a plus. However, if you have it, submit it. Submit it and let them know what your quantitative skills are. And especially if you have a great GMAT score, by all means, share your score with the universities, even if they don't require it. Okay, so I think we have like 5 seconds. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. You have my email if you have any questions. Bye.